Positively Muskegon. It's Andy O'Reilly out here on East Apple Avenue, one of my favorite neighborhoods here in all of Muskegon. I have got Steve Skidema.
Yes.
Janice Hillary. I got the names right this time. How about that, right? They got a hold of me not too long ago to tell me about this place that is really a remarkable thing in Muskegon and something that I had never heard of until now. It's called Kids
Belong.
Kids Belong. You got to talk up just a little bit.
Kids Belong.
Kids Belong. And let me tell you about Kids Belong. If you are a foster parent or maybe thinking about being a foster parent, the need is huge, and so are the responsibilities. Let's talk a little bit about how many foster kids there are in Michigan now.
In Michigan or Muskegon?
Well, we'll start off with Michigan, and then we'll narrow it down.
Okay. I have to guess on Michigan, I want to say about 13,000.
That's a lot.
Yes.
And in Muskegon, West Michigan?
450 in Muskegon County.
400. And where do these kids come from? Is it broken homes? Is it economic situations that makes it tough for families?
It could be anything. It's abuse and neglect situations. Could be poverty situations.
Yeah.
Could be drugs involved in the families. Anything like that the kids are not safe in the home.
So they step in. They get the kids into a foster home.
Correct.
And this is where you guys come in with Kids Belong.
Kids Belong.
Let's talk a little bit about the work that goes on. I mean, if you take a look behind us here, you can see there's clothes like you won't believe.
And this is only one of three
Of
locations.
them. Okay.
This is our biggest one by far.
Okay.
We've only been in existence for about a year.
Is that
and
it?
a half.
Wow.
And this is all donations.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's good-hearted people in Muskegon.
Absolutely.
Is what you're telling us.
A lot of good people.
Talk about your role here, Steve. What do you do?
So basically, Kids Belong started about 3 years ago.
Okay.
It was an initiative to get churches aware of the need for foster and adoptive families. So we brought that message out to the churches. From there, it kind of evolved into the support piece for the foster kids and adoptive kids. They can come get clothes here at the closet free of charge.
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
And let's talk about the age limits. I mean, does it start off as infant stuff?
Yeah.
And work its way all the way up through?
All the way up.
Really?
Yeah. So we have clothes for infants, equipment, cribs, all of it.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm taking a look around here. I see toys. I see some car seats, different things like that. And this is all free for somebody that's got a foster child.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're servicing foster children, adoptive children, refugee children, which we have some in Muskegon.
Yeah.
And kinship families, which are probably double the amount of families where your family steps up to raise their kids that need to be placed out of the home.
Sure.
And they don't receive any support from the government to help care for these kids.
Isn't that something?
So
I mean, times are tough. I get it.
Right.
But you'd like to think the government can take care of everything.
Right.
But sometimes it's just got to be a grassroots effort, like we are here in the back of a church. You'd be surprised how many times I've ended up in a basement of a church or the back of a church or something like that, making these things happen for people that really need the hand. So I think it speaks volumes for our community, first and foremost, and then people like yourselves who dedicate all your spare time to being a part of the solution. Yeah. Where is your connection with foster children and adopted kids and all that kind of stuff?
Our family became a foster family about 10 years ago.
Okay.
We have 5 biological children at the time, and the youngest had gone to kindergarten, and I needed something to do.
Glutton for punishment.
Right.
So you started fostering and then adopting, and
yes, we adopted 6 years ago. We've fostered over 50 kids.
Have you really?
10 years that we've been doing it.
Talk about that experience a little bit. Is it? I mean, you start off with this kid, and you're strangers.
Yes.
And then you get to know this kid.
Yep.
And then they go home, or they find a permanent home.
Right.
Is it tough?
The first one is always the hardest.
Yeah.
It gets easier. But for our family, our favorite part is working with the biological family.
Sure.
And helping them get back on the right path.
To where it should be.
And to promote reunification, because that's what foster care is all about.
How about you? What's your story? How'd you get involved?
Well,
you can't blame me.
Not all the way. It's been about 4 years. We became foster families, and actually, one of Janice's placements, we had taken a sibling group of 3.
Okay.
And, has since adopted them.
Have you really?
We have, yeah.
And what has that done for you?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely life changing. You go from a family of 3 to a family of 6. And
wow.
It's a big adjustment, but I tell you, there's such a huge need. Was it in the cards? No. We never thought we'd adopt 3 kids.
Yeah.
But the need's there, and we're blessed to be able to help.
When somebody's interested in being a foster or an adoptive parent, what's the first step?
I did a lot of research on the internet, but if you want to do it in Muskegon County, the simplest thing is to call Muskegon County DHS,
Okay.
DHHS,
Yep.
and just ask to speak to someone in the foster care department or division,
And that's all there is
and
to
they
it.
can get you directed. There's public agency is DHS, and then there's some private agencies in town.
Okay.
I think there's 4 or 5 at this point.
Right.
And they're all great to work with. You just kind of have to find the one that fits your family and your desires.
And I'm sure it's age dependent, but with the kids, is it a difficult adjustment to them to move into a foster home?
It's terrifying.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, what do they go through?
They are ripped out of their normal everyday home that maybe isn't perfect in our eyes, but is their comfort zone and their secure, safe place that they are used to.
Just
and
accustomed to.
accustomed to, and they could be taken by police. They could be taken by, a CPS worker, a complete stranger, and dropped off to a home and introduced to the foster mom and said, "This is your foster mom,"
And that's that.
and that's that.
And it takes some adjustment, I would imagine.
Sure.
Months.
Yeah?
Sure.
Is it months? Really?
Oh yeah.
Very difficult thing to do. Over that time, though, do you see that the kids blend in a little bit more? Or
Oh, yeah.
what's the process? Do they?
The kids acclimate to the new normal, but they go through quite a grieving process, and there's a lot of anger and some challenging behaviors that come with the kids.
Yeah.
Because they just don't know what's happened to them.
Very tough. Very tough for a little one.
For sure.
Yeah. As you guys grow and this word gets out about people like you that do great things, talk a little bit about what your needs are here.
I would say some of the needs, obviously with the closet in place and the support with that, the churches have really embraced. What could happen maybe a little bit more, and some needs are for the foster families, helping them, supporting them. Some of the churches will offer a respite night, where on a Friday night, all the foster families can drop their kids off, they go out to eat, and
Date night.
But the thing is, if you were my next door neighbor
Yep.
and I needed to run out for some milk and I had some foster kids, unless you're certified, you've had the proper background check, you can't come over and watch them.
Really?
Yeah. So you have your core of people who can actually help and your support that way. So it's a whole different experience when you're doing the fostering. So yeah, helping the families if it's
Bringing them meals.
yeah, bringing meals. All of a sudden you have 3 kids dropped off at your door and you can't necessarily go anywhere.
Sure.
So yeah, bringing meals or helping run errands. It's pretty endless.
Simple stuff, though.
It really is. Everyday stuff that is almost impossible to do.
And friends and neighbors should do for each other anyway.
Sure.
I mean, to be honest with you, that's part of building communities
That's right.
and part of making Muskegon a better place.
Right.
Well, and a lot of it, Andy, is people just don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea, and I think I know a little bit about what's going on around town.
Right.
Not everything, but some.
Right.
Sure.
Do you have designated shopping days when people can come here and see you?
We do. This closet is open on Thursdays from 6 to 8.
6 to 8. We're at 4200 East Apple Avenue. Is this location? Tell us about the other ones.
Lake Harbor United Methodist is on Henry Street.
Yep.
And we have our teen boutique there that we're still working on getting set up. And that one is by appointment.
Okay.
And-
Teens get a boutique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, must be nice
Yeah.
to be a teenager
Yeah, they're
nowadays.
picky.
They're very picky.
Yes, they are. I remember those days.
Yes. And then we have one more location at Crestwood United Methodist.
Okay.
And they are open on Tuesdays from 4 to 6, I believe.
And if you're a foster parent or an adoptive parent, you need a hand with clothes or maybe some toys, books. I see a nice selection of books here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a resource. It's here for you to make sure you get out and do what you can. A, to help these kids out. B, to be a great part of the community. And C, praise these people for the work they're doing. We got the website all on here at Positively Muskegon. We've got your Facebook page linked. We hope some people come out and what would you give me your last thought if somebody were to say, tell me what it's like to be a foster parent.
Wow. The reward of it. To, like Janice said, when you take the kids and they're removed from their home, they're removed from their life, and to be able to just provide for them.
Yep.
You know, and the cool thing about it too, that we were able to do as Christians and bringing them to church, introducing kids maybe
Sure.
for the first time or the only time.
Sure.
That way is a truly blessing too. But
And their families,
yeah,
if
true.
you can reach out to them.
Right.
Get to know the families too.
Right.
Awesome. We'll put all the details right here at Positively Muskegon. Steve, Janice, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Andy.
It's a great bunch of stuff happening here in Muskegon for everybody, and there's a resource for everything. So make sure you take advantage of it right here with Positively Muskegon.